what's up turtles? It's Krik here with Blackout Outdoors. Today I'm going to be doing a review and setup of the REI Passage 2-person tent, 3-season 2-person tent. Right here's the tent in its stuff sack. I have the poles outside of it just because at times I like to carry a tent like this, not having the poles inside this bag because I can get this bag smaller if I need to, and then I can just strap the poles to the outside of my bag. That's why I have it outside right now, but you can fit the poles inside with it. I'm just going to get it out, start setting it up, start talking about some of the specs as I set it up, and sort of give a little general tips on how to actually put up a tent, because this is a really common 2-pole freestanding design. As I have the stuffed right now, I have the tent on top. The first thing I want when I get into it, the first thing I'm going to need, I have the Rainfly underneath it. That way, in case I don't want to use the fly, it's already in the bag, I don't have to pull it out. Now I've already scouted out an area to set this up, considering all these factors around me. Look for a really flat ground with no rocks standing, or no rocks really protruding. And this is a good spot that I deem pretty adequate for my tent. This tent sells for I think $160 on REI's website. Just sort of roughing out where I want the tent in relation to the ground, the contours, before I get the poles out. You can still adjust it as you put the poles in, put the poles up and stuff. Because it's freestanding, you can just pick up the whole tent. These are 7001, 7001 aluminum poles. The packed weight of the tent is 5 pounds 5 ounces, which is appropriate for that price quality, or price range, and the quality. It is a quality tent, a quality 3-season 2-person freestanding tent. But 5 pounds 5 ounces, that's right where you're going to find for a tent of this. 2 doors, 2 vestibules, and not ultralight. Stony, you want to come get a close up here? I want to show you a specific little feature to help. A nice little tip to put a tent up by yourself. So I've extended this pole out to its maximum, and I'm going to put the pole in its tent spot, or in the spot where it goes in the tent through this grommet. I'm going to make sure that this grommet stays on the end of the pole. I'm going to get the other pole out real quick. Put it on this side. And you can really get a tent set up quick. A tent like this, you can get it set up very, very fast. I'm sort of taking my time because I'm talking to you. Now I'm going to do the same thing over on this side. Make sure that's insecure when I lay it down. I want to make sure that's secure in that grommet. Once I'm cool with that, walk around to this side. In one hand, I'm going to hold the tent. I'm going to grab the pole in my other hand, and this is where it's important down at the other end, Stony, that I was showing before. We'll make sure that the tent's secure in the grommet. When I start to put pressure and bend the pole, that's where it's important that stays in that hole. And now once I do that, I can continue doing that. You see I'm just holding it one-handed now, holding the tent and slide it into its corresponding grommet down on this side. Repeat the process with the other one. And you want to be really sort of delicate as you're doing this, because you don't want to hit the tent really with the pole, because you could potentially loosen one of the ends and you got to get up and walk down and redo it. Just take your time, make sure it's secure down there before you start putting any pressure on it. Do the same thing down here. Grab the poles and now stand them up. Get the middle of the tent. There's one hook on this, make sure it goes over both in the middle, like here, as I've done, secure it. And then with this particular design, a lot of tents are designed like this, a whole bunch, all these hooks that correspond, that go over the poles. Just work my way around the tent. And that's really quick. For a quick tent setup, That's super quick, you know. Open this up a little bit. As a freestanding tent, depending on weather, you're gonna put up your backyard. That's pretty quick to set up. You know, that's just almost ready to be slept in. But I'm not gonna stop there. I'm gonna get the fly on it. I'm gonna stake it down. Really show you how to get a tent really secure. This comes with 6 stakes. 6? I think 6 stakes. And this is a pretty important step when you're first going to put down the tent and stake it down. You really want to make sure you have it kind of stressed to its points, really opened up to its fullest extent. It's really going to help the fly fit better. And this is compatible with the tent's compatible with the footprint. It's sold separately, but you can buy a footprint, which just adds another layer of protection from the tent, from the tub floor and the ground. Just going to start though. Got one stake in. I believe this is probably for the footprint. I'm not sure. You can put the stake here, but since I'm not going to use a footprint right now, I'm just going to use that grommet for it. I'm coming over here right in front of you. Now I'm putting this other one. Like I said, I want to make sure I'm stretching this out. You can see the tension on. You can see the different tension over here as it's sitting. And I want to pull it out to its. I want to stretch it, open it up. Okay, hit a root. There we go. I'm gonna work around the other end, do the same thing. Making sure I'm pulling, making sure there's tension on this. Not too much. You're not trying to stress all the seams to their capacity, but to really make a tent windproof and weatherproof, you really need to make sure you have it really battened down. And I'll do the last one over here. Now that tent is so much more secure. So much more secure just by having a stake. And it has 2 doors. I'll come over in front of you here, Stony. There's 2 doors, 2 really big sweeping doors. Opens up really nice, really opens up the tent. It's a pretty big door, which makes it easier to get in and out of. And do sort of backpack camping. Being in a tent can be really confined, and small little features really help to make it feel more comfortable. And having a little larger door, just getting in and out, if you want to sit with your feet out of it, maybe wash your feet if you're sitting in your tent, stuff like that. It makes it nice if there's a little bit bigger door. But there are 2 doors on here, 2 poles, 2 vestibules. This is it's mesh in here. This is the nylon taffeta. And where the ultralight tents, you know, how they stay light is one through their poles, lighter and stronger poles, but they also, considering this mesh, there's a lot less of material, nylon or different material. A lot of it's mesh, which is nice for weight, but if say you want to use your tent in a campground a lot, with the fly off, if you want some privacy, having a little bit of nylon and mesh is important for airflow, but some nylon offers just a little bit of privacy if you're camping at a festival, anything like that. Where there's people around, it offers a little bit more privacy. But I'm gonna get the fly out now and put the fly on real quick. Now there is some color coding to the tent, which makes it a little bit easier for setup. You can see on this side down here, the ground, Stony, there's an orange sort of tag. On this end here, this is orange. It's color coded for a reason. That's orange. Then over here, follow me. This is black, and that's corresponding to help get the fly on, make it a little bit easier. Let's see if I can make it easier on myself. Figure this out. All right, caught in the guideline. Shoes on side. Got an orange there. Black. Might work. No. I'm just going to try to sling this on top of it, and then sometimes it's just a little bit easier. Just throw this on top, and it's a little bit easier to maneuver. That way it's off the ground. I'm not potentially stepping on it or tearing it on a branch, just to help get it off the ground. until I can figure out exactly maybe what direction it goes. Maybe I have it backwards. Black there, orange there. That might be pretty good. Yeah, I got the right position in the correct direction. Now I'm just going to try to work the fly a little bit better on the poles. I'll do some fine adjustments once I start getting it tight to the pole. But a nice feature on a lot of flies, which I think a lot of people overmiss, and to really help the tent stay really secure with the wind by putting on a fly, there's usually a little loop right here, a little hook and loop. That's on the inside of the fly, and what that's meant for is to literally go around the pole, and that helps secure the fly to the pole, which in turn will help keep your stuff safe, keep you safe when a storm comes. The last thing you want to do is be out on a hike away from camp and come back and your tent's blown away. Now to put the fly on, I'm going to take this, go under that grommet of the stake, the pole. Now I'm going to leave this loose a little bit until I get them all down, and then I'll tighten them as I get everything secure. Now I'm just going to work my way around the tent and do this at every corner. And one more. I want to say you can probably do this with the stake. Now that I'm doing it, probably just pull the stake out and do it. I think either way works fine. What do you guys think? Probably the stake will be stronger. Let's see if that works. We really secure the fly to the ground as well, not to the tent. Yeah, I think I like that better. Alright, now that I got it done, got that on, I'm gonna, excuse me, bugging my eye. I'm just gonna stand up and position the seams kind of where I want to make sure the fly is hugging the poles in a clean manner. And I didn't repeat the process of the hook and loop attached to the fly, putting it around the pole. I showed you down this end, but I just want to make clear that you should do that on every single pole for 4 times when you're putting up a tent. And there's 2 more poles, or excuse me, stakes left, and they're reserved for the vestibules. Pull the vestibule out, get to a good distance where I think it's going to want to sit. Repeat that on the other side, and then I'm going to tighten this up, try to get that vestibule, excuse me, oh, really wet ground. So what just happened here, Stony, you want to go up and get real close? Because I was in really wet ground, I'm in a really, really moist substrate. And this is the corner where I decided to maybe put this through this grommet and try it out. As I tried to cinch this down, as I had it through here, I tried to cinch this down and it just pulled up the stake. So maybe situation depending, it may be better if you have better stakes, but for now I'm going to, like I did on the other 3 corners, I'm going to put this grommet underneath the tent pole. Put that there, and then I'll continue to stake down the tent. Just want to point that out because it did shift. And that way I can do it to the tent. Alright, move around. And definitely the more times you put up a tent, the faster it'll be. Like I said, I'm sort of taking my time now because I want to explain everything kind of sort of thoroughly, make sure I catch myself. But you can definitely get a tent set up very, very fast. Now I'm just going to go around to the corners, make sure the fly is really, really tight everywhere how I want it. That's basically the setup of the tent. And there's one more feature I want to show. One more feature I want to show of the tent. There's actually vents right here that's kept together by this hook and loop. Undo that, and there's a little, it's a little bit of structure inside this. By putting that again, fastening using the hook and loop, it keeps this open, which helps promote airflow, which is very important. Which is very important if you're in a tent with the fly on, or just in general. Airflow is really important for a comfortable night. And there's one corresponding on the other side. Come around, I'll show you. Actually, yeah. That's going to help keep airflow. And I think I used all my stakes, but I can get a piece of wood real quick. But to show you these guy lines on here, this again will help with airflow by opening this up. Right here's the bottom of the tub floor. This is a coat of polyester, by the way. The tub floor. I guess it's not a tub, but here's the seam. But this is a coat of polyester, and by guying this out using a piece of cordage, this again allows air to come in, circulate through here, and then exit through the hot air, exit through the vents at the top. You can guy this out. It'll help promote airflow and secure your tent that much more. And here as well, this can be used to guy out a guy line as well. To get into the tent with the fly on, really only one or two things to keep in mind. You can open it up. I want to keep the fly on to promote some, maybe there's rain, but I want to keep it on. I still want some airflow. I can roll up the door. And there's a little toggle over here. A toggle on a bungee stretch here, and a loop that's on the outside of the fly. Roll up the door, put this through here, and now my door is open. I'm protected. If it starts to rain, I can just really, get my stuff buttoned up again. 2 vestibules, 2 doors, which comes in play if you're camping with someone. It's really nice to be able to get out of your own door on each side of the tent. Is it really that big a deal if you're backpacking with a 1 door and there's 2 people in there? Not really. It doesn't really take away from the experience that much, but it's a little bit nicer with 2 doors. And the 2 vestibules offer more space to store your gear. And I think that's basically everything I wanted to touch about this tent. Go over all the specs. It's a for the price, it's really it's a nice tent. 160 bucks to be able to backpack with this. Yeah, you bet. I'd take it. And there's another, excuse me, really quick. There's another similar system to open up my tent door. Right here, there's another toggle. I roll up my door right here. Keep this open if I want to sit in here. Airflow, bugs aren't bad. I'm not worried about mosquitoes coming in right this moment. Open up that. Much more comfortable in here. There's an attic in here, Stony. You might have to adjust for the exposure of the light different. This is a gear attic, a little hang. It's really nice to keep stuff off of the ground. If you have stuff in your pocket, your headlamp, anything you get in here, crawl in here with your tent. At night. It's nice to hang gear up there. But all in all, it's a really nice tent. For 160 bucks, it's going to serve you well. I'm confident taking it even into the backcountry. This is Krik signing out with Black Outdoors. Later, turtles.